Good evening. The topic today we are going to see is friction. In previous modules, we have seen that we have assumed that there is no friction in between the contact surfaces. But in reality, it is not like that. In any contact surface, there will be a friction involved. So, what is friction? Friction, if any two surfaces are in contact with each other, there will be a tangential force involved when one body tends to move over another body. This tangential force is called frictional force. Why we need this frictional force? In some cases we need, some cases we have to avoid that friction. Suppose I want to pick an object from the floor and suppose I want to walk, I need a friction. I want to drive a car, I need a friction in between a car and the road. In some cases, I want to avoid the friction. What are they? Suppose the moving mechanical components, they wear and tear. To avoid this wear and tear, we will be introducing a lubricant in between the moving components. So in that cases, we need to avoid friction. Types of friction. What are the types of friction available? One is dry friction, another one is fluid friction. Dry friction is nothing but if the contact surfaces are dry, then that kind of friction is called dry friction. Fluid friction, if the in between the two contact surfaces, if we have a fluid in between that is the lubricant, that kind of friction is called fluid friction. So then coming to dry friction, the other name is called column friction. There are some of the columns laws of frictions are available. 5 laws you may be having. One is the major law is the frictional force is always opposing the direction of movement of the object. And the frictional force, the contact area, it doesn't proportional to the contact area of the surface. Then similarly you have 5 laws. You go through that, definitely we will be having a 2 mark question. You are asked to write any two columns law of friction. Then coming to the characteristics of the friction, we have to know, coming to the characteristics of the friction. Suppose I have a floor and I have a body which is having a weight W. So this flow, due to this weight, there will be a normal reaction occurs. Normal reaction. Suppose I move this body, as in the case, to obtain friction, there will be a tangential force occurs. That tangential force is called friction in between the contact surfaces. So, and if I combine this F and N, I will be getting a resultant force. That resultant force is having an angle of theta. This is called friction angle. What is that friction angle? Tan theta. We can find it out as F by N. So tan theta is opposite side by adjacent side. F by N. So F is equal to tan theta into N. So always this F is proportional to N. To equate that, there will be a constant coming into picture. That constant is called constant of coefficient of friction. That is called mu S. F is equal to mu S into N. This is the equation of friction. That is F is equal to mu S into N. Mu S is nothing but coefficient of friction. N is normal reaction. Coming to friction angle. What is friction angle? What is friction angle? So already you know that is tan theta. Tan theta is equal to F by N, which is equal to mu S. We call it as friction angle. Theta is, we call it as friction angle. Then angle of repose. Angle of repose. What is this? The angle of repose is nothing but if a body is on an inclined plane at some inclination of this surface, contact surface, at the max, at the steepest inclination at which the body tries to slide downwards, that inclination is called angle of repose. So I can define it like this: the steepest inclination. The steepest inclination at which the body will be in equilibrium is called angle of repose. So these are all the two more questions available in the first friction module. Thank you.